In the community post, I asked you for suggestions on how to celebrate receiving the all-important and all-powerful silver YouTube play button. This was the top comment. To celebrate, talk about the most obscure animal you know about in great detail. You wanted it, you asked for it, this cannot be undone. Here's a whole video showcasing 8 of nature's most unfortunate looking cretins that have been fermenting in my notes app for months now. Let's start off cute and end with evil and obscene, shall we? Number 1. The solar-powered sea slug, known as the leaf sheep or leaf slug. As a member of the Sacoglossans, it's one of the very few multicellular organisms that can photosynthesize. At a maximum length of 8 mm, it spends its whole life grazing on solitary fan algae, which are its home but also the source of its powers. The leaf sheep is able to become a plant at will by sucking chloroplasts out of the algae, keeping them within its own tissue for anywhere between 10 days to an entire year, allowing it to photosynthesize. This process is known as kleptoplasty, which sounds hardcore as hell. Sacoglossans are just in general pretty dramatic extreme animals. Not only does every member look severely overdressed, but you know when you see a huge spider in your house and for a brief moment you're like, yeah, this was a good home while it lasted. Well, there's a parasite known as a copepod that latches onto the body of these slugs, and when this happens, 2 species were observed to detach their entire body from the neck down as a way to deal with this issue. And I think that's pretty funny because the copepod affects the slug's reproductive organs, so my guy is like, so no head. But the leaf sheep in particular made my list because, look at it. It looks like a friendly elderly side character in a video game that dies and completely shifts the tone of your journey. Next up, number 2. The It's Not a Phase Mom hyena, or the aardwolf. A creature so lost it doesn't know if it's someone's miserable vegan diet raised dog, an r/bad taxidermy waiting to happen, or a $35 edgy Persona commission piece. Its name means earth wolf, but they're actually the smallest hyena species. And their diet? Termites. Up to 300,000 termites every night. Aardwolves used to be carnivores at some point, but it's theorized that due to scarcity in resources and the fact that hunting is far more difficult than standing over a hole with your mouth open, they became insectivores, similar to the bat-eared fox. And due to this bizarre diet, aardwolves never developed a pack mentality because you don't really need a group to hunt termites and you can't really carry termites back to your clan. Also, due to only eating bugs, their teeth are practically incapable of chewing meat. Perhaps because these runty hyenas are so incredibly ashamed of the way they evolved, they live in silence, only communicating through their butts. More specifically, through something called hyena butter. And now, that sounds like a 4chan horror story, but when you find a banging termite nest, you don't want someone taking it from the communal company fridge that is the African savannah. So you leave a note, or in this case, secrete a paste from your anal glands that alerts everyone that it's yours. Ugh. Number 3. The bark weevil, or Rhinostus lasturnus weevil. His head is empty. He knows nothing, yet is aware that the whole world is ridiculing him. But do not feel sorry for this weevil, for its foul appearance is its God-given punishment. Like a few other types of weevil, this one is competitively cannibalistic. See, the female will deposit 6 to 10 eggs into young bamboo shoots, but when they enter their larva stage, in a week's time, there would only be 1 left. I mean, imagine this, consuming your brothers just to end up looking like a smiling Friends character. So sad. Number 4. The harpy eagle. First off, if you see this bird in your dream, that means your time is soon up. It is the largest eagle with a wingspan of 1 and a bit Adobe Micros. The females often twice as large as the males. With legs thicker than a human's wrist and industrial hook talons bigger than any other bird's. You know, scratch that because birds suck. Bigger than a grizzly's. Oh yeah, she's not only seeing the end of the universe. She eats whole-ass monkeys for breakfast. Monkeys are harpy eagle's favorite prey, and both species are said to be equally intelligent. You know where I'm going with this, right? Monkey experiment time. Monkey. Despite the fact that monkeys are the animal most closely related to us humans, we sure love to put them through the most traumatizing and inhumane trials. And one of those trials proved exactly how intelligent the harpy eagle is. Sit your ass down, it's story time with Poopy. The Barrow, Colorado island was a howler monkey's paradise. They enjoyed essentially no natural predators, until a team of researchers were like, what if natural predators, and released 2 harpy eagles onto the island just to, see what happens. What's all this then? The experiment aimed to observe how long it would take for the monkeys to develop a strategy against the eagles, who were at this point consuming one of them every 3 days. What was incredibly surprising though was that the eagles were doing an experiment of their own. They would, in plain sight, give an "I'm about to eat you" call, and if the monkeys reacted by forming a defense mob or running to more densely forested areas, the eagle would leave. But if the monkeys hadn't gotten the memo that the harpies are predators, and do nothing about the call, only then would the harpy bother to attack. These birds are intelligent enough to adapt to work smarter, not harder, in such a short period of time. And that's an incredible, never-before-seen shift in an animal's behavior. So there we have it at number 4 on my list. Number 5 is what a D20 looks like if you're on horse tranquilizers, the Concha hieroglyphica. Not much to say about this one other than it's a saltwater clam, or at least that's what the government wants you to think. Scientists have spent decades trying to decode its organic scriptures, and unanimously agreed that the Concha hieroglyphica's writings actually describe in great detail what me and your mom did last week. Number 6, the abomination fish. I know I use the word abomination lightly sometimes, so maybe the not abiding by the rules of genetics fish is a bit better. This is the sturddlefish, a hybrid offspring of a Russian sturgeon and American paddlefish. Why is it weird that it exists? Here's why. It shouldn't. These two fish have nothing in common with each other. Last time they did was 140 million years ago. And you might be thinking, oh, they're both fish though. Well, yeah, humans and blue whales are also both mammals, so good luck, I guess. Its creation was a complete accident. They used paddlefish eggs as a negative control group for a sturgeon breeding experiment. The fact that healthy hybrids came out of it seemed so impossible they had to do it again, just to make sure God wasn't blinking the first time it happened. But no, it was not a fluke. These two fish made babies and proved that God has given up on his creations. To sum up, the sturddlefish really convinced me that we do live in a simulation. But finally, I know what you're here for, the tapir frog. It's one of those new frog species that just dropped. Besides looking like a thick drop of balsamic vinegar, he doesn't do much. This little guy is about the size of a quarter, and that makes me want to breastfeed him or something. The species was quite hard to discover since it lives underground, but the scientists were able to find the frogs because of the beeping sound they make. Hard to see, easy to hear. I don't know. How do you like it in comparison to the last bird frog discovered back in 2017? They look like they'd be bros because they both seem very unserious about being actual frogs. Well, this one is definitely flipping the table at some point. That was all the animals I wanted to share today. Tell me which one was your favorite down in the comments, or even better, tell me in great detail what your favorite obscure animals are. I would also like to thank you for subscribing. I never believed that I would actually get this plaque. And it's not only because I never imagined having more than 100,000 subscribers, but because the system marked poopy as profanity. And this name is very dear to me. I would not change it for the world. Find out why in the next very special Q&A edition of The Poopy Show. Okay, bye.